Welcome to a Fish Out of Water podcast. This is your host, Richard Lipman. Today we're interviewing Ana Casas Broda and Ana Tirado Miranda. This podcast is sponsored by Demo Day Records.
Okay. Hi, who are you? What do you do?
I'm Ana Casas Broda. I run a project called Hydra. It's a project, a platform, photography platform in Mexico City. We have workshops, a bookstore, and we have a program that works with authors to produce their books with editors, designers, and artists from all over the world. So this is the part of Hydra. This is the space we have in Mexico City, and from that program, we started the publishing project, which is this one. Each book is completely different because what we do is to encourage authors to do their own edition and to work with materials, make a lot of experimentation, and
How does...
one question.
Yeah.
How long should I speak?
10 minutes.
Okay, because
10,
I
15.
don't know, so I feel
10,
like I'm
15.
rushing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want me to start again?
10:15. No, that's okay.
Okay.
But one thing, how do you get the funding to and the support for this kind
We
of
don't
project?
have support, any kind of support.
You don't have any support? Who owns the building?
It's my house
Oh, it's your house. You do it in su casa, right?
and su casa.
Which neighborhood is that?
Colonia Condesa. Bueno, Roma, but it's in Condesa. It's in a very nice neighborhood.
Uh-huh. Can you show us show us the work?
I mean, I'm not rich, but the house is in a good neighborhood because I bought it. This is not in the video.
Yeah.
Should
Okay.
not be. Well, we have just new. We have new publications like this one from Mariana Gruener, who is here. This from Anaí Tirado, who is also here.
Show us a bit. Yeah, that would be great.
It's difficult with one hand, you know.
Maybe
How
your
should I
colleague
do
could
it?
help.
Uh,
Just give me the
the
microphone.
author is there, but
Right.
so what we do a lot is to work with different materials. So you will see, like we work with very uncommon papers.
Can you tilt it a little bit?
It's about the story of 4 generations. It's and how her great grandmother was erased from the family history, and also from the pictures and completely from the story. So she's trying to reconstruct her great grandmother.
Okay.
And there are a few voices in the text, her voice and the voice of her mother and other people. I mean, the aunts, and there are like all these women. Like at the beginning, you have here.
Right.
It's a really beautiful book that has won a lot of prizes before publishing. I mean, like, yeah, that's her.
Wow.
She's there, over there.
Oh, that's her. Where?
Yeah.
Where is she?
Yeah.
Can you bring her here?
Anaí?
You did this?
Hi.
Hi. You did this?
Yes, I did.
What?
Yes, I did it. Here?
Yes.
Close.
Yeah, we saw the work.
Wait. Can we
maybe
can we
you
make
could-
a little cut first?
Sure.
And that you are like
Bien.
aquí en el de abajo.
Thank you. I just ate. Hi. I did this book.
When was it?
Why? When? I started in 2022, and it got printed last week. And yeah, I started working it at the incubator program at Hydra.
Okay. How did you get all those images there? I'm just curious. Can you just show us?
Of course.
It's a very artistic
So,
book, yeah?
thank you.
Was it printed in Mexico?
Yes, it was printed in Mexico at Panorama, and it's
No.
made of the. Sorry.
Again, you have to say again.
Yes, it was printed in Mexico in Rebosan, offset Rebosan, and it's made of different types of papers.
Is that you?
This is me, and this is my mom,
How
and
did
then
you take that picture?
with a remote control. And we did a trip to the beach in Veracruz, which is in the Gulf of Mexico, with all the women in my family. and this is all of us. And I asked them to do this
Can I
shoot.
ask you one question? Was it safe? Is it safe to walk around, to do pictures like this? We hear of the stereotype of crime rates and all of
So the state of Veracruz, it's not very safe, but the place where we were was quite safe
that. How do you know that?
because it's a very touristic area. So it was okay. We were very in the spotlight. People were kind of lurking and staring at us, but there was not very there wasn't a lot of people at the beach that day.
How did
so.
you take this picture?
So technically, so I put the camera on a tripod and then we posed, and I had a remote control so I could take the picture. And we did all this photo
Was it
shoot.
analog or digital?
Digital.
So is it wireless remote?
Yes, exactly. And it was this whole photo shoot with the women in my family. This is the prologue of the book, and then after this, the book actually starts here, and the whole book is made of family archive pictures, which were all very romantically stored on a suitcase at my mom's house. And there's a lot of images that I had never seen from my grandmother.
Was this at the same time as Carla Frida?
Well, these are from like the 30s. So yeah, actually yes. The images start. This is from the 30s, and then it starts getting more, not really contemporary, but time.
Where is this?
This is actually in Chile. So this is a postcard that my grandmother's half-sister sent to my grandmother, and she saved it in the book. And then this is from a little notebook that my grandmother had. You can see the transcription here because her writing is not very easy to read. And yeah, so all of these images, this is my grandmother.
What did she do in life?
She was a housekeeper. She had 3 children, my mom, my aunt, and my uncle. And yeah, she had a very sad story because she was separated from her mom at a very young age. Her mom was the other woman, so she was an illegitimate child, and she really carried that stigma throughout her life. Like, she was a bastard, and she carried that. It was a heavy thing for her. And this book is about me trying to tell the story of her and her mother.
Tell me, who was she a housekeeper of?
Well, just her family. She was, how do you say, ama de casa?
Yeah, like
Stay at home mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Very much a personal story, right?
Yes, very personal story.
You're gonna have 3 different. There are 4 authors here, so if you
we can
wanna,
speak to them. That's a good
if you
idea.
have the 10 minutes, you just
Yes,
distribute them.
It is a very personal story, and so in the end of the book, I play with the archive because there's a lot of pictures that we don't know who the women in there are. So I play around, maybe trying to find if one of them is my great-grandmother, because we don't really have any images from her. We don't really know
I tell
about
you,
her.
What I like about it, it's quite artistic. It's quite original.
Thank you.
More original than a lot of the books we see.
It's kind of like a puzzle that I'm trying to put together.
Did it win any awards?
It did, as a dummy. As an actual published book, it was just printed, so it hasn't gone to any contests, but it won the Photo from Unpublished Books Award. And then in this little booklet, I play with AI. Sorry, yeah, AI. Trying to give my great-grandmother a face, and also playing with like a made-up story. What if my grandmother and her mother had never been separated, and they had aged together? So this is my grandmother, and this could be my great-grandmother, according to AI at least. Yeah, and that's it. And then the epilogue comes.
What's your name?
Anaí Tirado.
You want to say your name? Say you're doing a podcast for a Fish Out of Water podcast.
A podcast for what?
A Fish Out of Water.
Fish Out of Water. So, hi, I'm Anaí Tirado, and this is a podcast for Fish Out of Water.
You want to say that in Spanish?
Hola, soy Anaí Tirado, este es mi fotolibro, y este es un podcast para A Fish Out of Water.
And I want to say much more things, and there's other authors, because all our books are so artistic.
Gracias,
Shall I tell you other, and then we call other authors? And this other project has 70 publishers.
Sure.
I want to tell you more, because all of our books are really very, in that sense, very, very experimental with their materials. So this also is new. And this was selected for Foto España. It has an umbilical cord that joins both books. The first book is about the unborn. I mean, she had to give birth to her dead son with 6 months of pregnancy, and it is beautiful, mixed with text and images, and with different papers also. We work a lot with a lot of experimentation, and with materials and ways of printing. And the second one opened the possibility for the family to speak about the suicide of her brother when he was 11. And it's also very experimental with materials and papers. We also have a special edition of the book that now is not here because they changed the layout today. But it's really a very poetic and very strong, powerful story.
Right. What are the costs involved in making a book like this?
Well, it depends a lot, but it can be not so expensive. I'll show you more books. This book is also completely new.
When you say not so expensive, how much for them?
I'll try to convert now. Wait. Okay. Every book has a different price. This is a very special book.
Oh, you say in Mexican?
It completely depends. It goes from 200,000 pesos to 400, which is, I have to think about it. Okay. It's like, well, actually it's 10,000 euro, around 220.
Okay. And
and this one is about the...
Do you have a print run normally? 1,000 or 100?
It also depends on the author. Everything depends on the author. So each book here is completely unique, because the whole idea is that the authors do their own book as they want to do it, in the sense of the content, the narrative, the materials, the run, everything. I want to show you this one because it's the daughter of her parents were at the Zapatista Revolution.
What's the Zapatista Revolution?
In 1994, there was like the biggest revolutionary movement since the start of the century in Mexico, where all Chiapas did stand up and make the indigenous people made like a huge revolution. It was a very important international moment. And her parents were working in that's very beautiful. They were working as sanitary, as doctors there, but they were part of this movement. And these films she developed 20 years later. Are you okay?
Yeah, give me 2 secs. Continue talking. Sorry. Well, just give me a sec.
Be careful with this book, because this is very... I want to show it to you. This is beautiful.
Yes. I'm going to put it on the ground because this little beast has kilos.
Yeah, I see you. And there are more authors, so you then edit it and...
Yeah. I mean, the basic edit. I mean, the ethos of the podcast is unedited. Obviously, I'll cut out little bits and pieces.
Without editing?
Yeah, most of it
so,
is.
these pictures were taken by the father of the artist, and she did develop them in while she was taking the incubadora, the program. So she developed them 20 years later, and they're amazing because they are like actually images of the people, the indigenous people, like taking over. These are like, and they're still independent.
I can see lots of guns here. Is that correct?
Yeah, because they did really make it was a big movement.
Okay, these are the revolutionaries, right?
Yeah, and all
Basically,
national,
Zapatistas.
international press was there, all ONGs, and she tells the story from her point of view. She was a child, and she was carried as a child to all these communities, where her parents would be working in health. And it has a lot of different papers, and it's beautiful because it has to do with the this is like a very rough paper, like the one in Anais. This book is from Gabriela Garcia Rivas, and I think it's a very special book because it tells a story that has never been told from this point of view, and in a very experimental and beautiful way. So these are really indigenous populations.
What is that over there?
Well, there are because they're making they do this their own rituals. You know, Mexico is the country in Latin America that has the most biggest population of indigenous people. There are 68 still living indigenous groups,
Right.
and they still have their own language, their own social organization. It's very important. So this is something that has not changed since 1500, which was the conquest. So these
Conquest
are
of who?
Spaniard.
Ah. Uh-huh. So you're related to the Spaniards? Is that the direct
The
lineage?
Spaniards, I mean, like the English people did invade India and other countries. The Spaniards did invade
And you
all Latin America, except Brazil, the Portuguese guys.
Right.
You know that.
It's
So
good
this
for
is
our audiences. Give them a history lesson.
yeah, really. And this is when it came out in the newspaper.
Right.
So it's 1994, and that was the time when. And this is the Zapatista manifest. And then she goes on reflecting because she reflects from a very personal point of view, which is very unusual. This is a Zapat. That's how they are.
Let me see.
They are
Are there
normally.
any? Okay, yeah, I see.
And now she's still. What's interesting is that now, as a young woman, she still works. That's her. She's still working in the Zapatista autonomous communities.
Well, what's happened there?
They're midwives, and they're telling people how to take out the placenta and how to cut it. And these are indigenous women with these amazing dresses in indigenous places that are autonomous, and she works for ONGs. So you cannot see their faces because it's prohibited to show them. Because there are still, there is still a war against Zapatismo.
So you said 68. What do you mean? 68%?
No, 68 groups of indigenous cultures still alive with their own language,
Right.
and their own culture, their own social structure,
Right.
and they're all like uses and all.
Can I ask one question? What did they want?
No, they just existed there, and they kept their identity. They want
I
to
see.
be alive.
I see. So they're worried about
And because
extinction of their identity, right?
well, in the case of Zapatismo, it's a very complicated situation because in Chiapas is one of the states. It's the border with Guatemala, so there's a lot of repression because it's also not trying not to let people get in from the rest of Latin America. So there are a lot of military there, and also they changed from making coffee. They put cows. So a lot of people were really starving, and they're really poor population. So they stand up for themselves, and it's jungle there. So they made this revolution, what became like this very big international movement, and they have a whole structure in autonomous community where where the military cannot get in still. This is quite interesting because they are the only ones that really have stand up and are still autonomous.
Right. Can you show us a picture that represents the current situation? It's most powerful.
Well, it's difficult because
you kind of remember in your.
It's well, I think no, there's nothing that represents the current situation because it's a journey. I mean, the whole book is a journey that goes in time, no? So it's not really.
How did she get access?
Because her parents had all these images. Most of them were taken by their own parents.
So these are taken by her parents.
Yes, I told her she would develop the films, the first ones, these amazing images during the workshop, so she had never seen them.
Okay, so what about her parents? How did they get access?
Well, they took them themselves because they were part of the movement.
Oh, I see. Are they still alive?
Yeah.
But I mean, okay. One thing, I was interested in terms of the design. This kind of, what do you call it?
Yeah, it's like a exposed, I don't know exactly in English.
It's a bit Japanese, right? The Japanese have that as well.
Yeah, but this is very common in books.
Is it?
We use it like in most of our books. Like exposed spine, it's how you call it in English.
Right.
And then we have other books like this one that you break. And then this one is Joan Fontcuberta, who is one of the most important contemporary artists and theorists he's from Barcelona, and he worked for 3 years in archives in Mexico. And this is about the dissolution of the image. These are the revolutionary, but in 1917 in Mexico. So this is Francisco Villa and Zapata. And it's made They were the revolutionary then. They changed, I mean, they made the Mexican Revolution in 1917.
Oh, it's independence.
Yeah, independence from the government, from the government then, Porfirio Diaz. Well,
it succeeded, right?
Well, yeah. And this is also made in 9 different papers. And it's called Mictlan because Mictlan is the name of the Aztec city. The Aztecs were the culture that lived before the Spaniards came, and so he went to the archives and did collect the images that were like disappearing, because he's working in theory about the disappearance of the image. And where you don't have image, where like it's like fading away, you have these amazing materials. And then, I mean, we use, for example, a lot. It's a.
Is this the real image or is it processed?
No, it's a real image. And this
Scanned,
is, for example, right? Yeah, this is, for example, the paper we use to wrap food in Mexico. So it's a very cheap paper, but it's beautiful, and it has these marks, like the negatives that are like fading away. It has these amazing textures. So the concept of the book is really powerful. Yeah.
Wow, that's very artistic.
This amazing book. So that's what I wanted to tell you, because most of them are really. I want to show you this one.
Okay.
This is an amazing book.
Right. Yeah.
This is it's going to be difficult if I don't hard the microphone. It's called Absence by Maricel Huertal, and it's 3 stories about absence. The first one, she did win the Eugene Smith Award with its series. It's about a young woman that was kidnapped in Veracruz and disappeared. She never appeared again.
Veracruz, West Veracruz.
The same place that these were naked in the Veracruz is in Mexico.
Is
a
that
state.
The north, south, or east?
I don't know exactly. It's like on the coast. I'm not very good with north and south. But these are the parents, and at the end, I mean, they really got a good relationship with her, and that's the artist, gave her the dress and the last self-portraits of her daughter and her poems. And so she worked with the family, and the father did write a text about the disappearance of women in Mexico.
Is this common?
Yeah.
Why?
Really, because there's a lot of violence in Mexico, and there are a lot of women that get kidnapped and disappear. It's a very, very tremendous, strong problem.
I see.
And the second story is also about absence. So the first time she decided to quit her job as acquaintant, she decided to also go for the first time out of Mexico, and she went to an Airbnb in Cuba. And the family has had a daughter in exile, so she was like feeling the void of somebody. So they told her, "You're going to be our daughter for 1 week." And the last story is a story about herself. So that's what gives like completely the sense of the book, because why she's so driven to the theme of absence, no? And how they grew
her
up.
family, right?
That's her and her siblings, how they grew up really poor, and then they start to remember like the absence of the father, who was there but not really present, and her sister remembers how an aunt did abuse her, and so it becomes all of our books are a kind of a very intense process for the artist, because they work a long time on it.
Show us this one over here. What's this?
I have others.
Yeah,
that
we'll
I like.
go to that one, of course.
The Mexicanas is made by Paola Bragado. She's a Spanish artist, but she lived in Mexico for many years, and it's made in a club, very known club that's called Barba Azul, and these women are their ficheras, the women that get like for a cheap dance with people, and she does teach them yoga while they were teaching her how to dance. And at the same time, this is analog. She did take images from the city, and there were like overlaps of negatives of Mexico City, and it's a way of giving an idea of her perception of Mexico City.
Where are these taken?
These are taken in this club called Barba Azul that is very well known, and the rest of them in the streets of Mexico, like everywhere around.
Is it legal over there to have these clubs and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, this is not prostitution, but because it's about dancing with the customers for like they pay a chip and then they dance with them. I want to show you.
Yes,
this
please.
one. This is also a very unusual book. It's called Mushe, because Mushes is a community in Oaxaca, around Oaxaca, and it's since ancient time, before the Spaniards came in 1549.
Oh,
Men,
wow, look at that.
men they're called mushes, and they're men that have the role of a woman in the society, and they're completely accepted. So the photographer worked for more than 8 years on this project, because he's from that community, that's him, and it's a quest about his own identity. So because he's gay but not mushe, and being mushing has an implication in the society, in the sense that they have to fulfill a certain role. That's him again. And so he worked a long time with the mushes, starting from the fascination as a kid, but then the rejection to the idea to be a mushe. And then he really got so close to them that they would decide how they wanted to be presented. So it's very interesting, because it's a book that changes a lot, and you can get the sense of how he changed and he got involved. That's him. And how he gets into really changing his position and his relationship with mushes, and they're really close and they're their friends. But he really had a very intense quest about his own identity. This book won a lot of prizes, and is almost sold out. And we have other little things. I'll just show you, like this one from Sarai Ojeda. He's Nelson Morales. Sarai Ojeda, that has like texts here and like images here, and then the body of the book is here. And this I'm going to show you just that you get an idea. And here you have text. So it has very playful in their shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And And this is also very important. This is very important. It's about all the garbage that comes with the tides to the beaches in Mexico, and the author did collect them and work with it. This is a special edition because it has this weird double print, and the material is made from this recycled material, and each book has a piece of garbage. And this one is from one artist from San Cristobal de las Casas, Chiapas, this is something that happened since the conquest, and since 1549. And these monsters go every September 22 and dance on the streets following the Mercy Virgin. And the more sins the person has, the more bigger the monster is. And it's amazing. So he's very close to them because he's from there, and he has a beautiful, very personal text. But it's something that has to do with how the Catholic religion and the indigenous religions melted in Mexico, which is very important, and it's also amazing, no? And the other book, ¿Se fue Mariana?
This one here was very interesting.
This is from ¿Se fue Mariana? Because the other author is there, but I'll show you.
Okay.
This is from a classical, we only have 2 books from deaf people.
Right.
Manuel Alvarez Bravo is the Mexican photographer. So we did this book they invited us to do this book in his archive. There are the not identified portraits. Since he is the most famous Mexican photographer, and he did portrait Paul Eluard and Frida Kahlo, everybody, no? Since he was the guy who made the portraits of everybody in Mexico, in the archive they had non-identified images. That's him, and they made this book and a show where people could put to identify them, and then it would go into a website. It's beautiful, yeah.
Yes.
It's a classical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to a Fish Out of Water podcast. Should you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please get in touch. This podcast is sponsored by Demo Day Records.